Scheduled meeting is being videotaped for broadcast due to either discussion that may be held in closed session pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. There may be interruptions in the video recording of these proceedings. This meeting will be aired by EHT TV, Channel 97, on Thursday, March 7th.
Okay, thank you. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Tafaro?
Here.
Ellis?
Here.
Hodson?
Yep.
Falls?
Here.
Farmer?
Yes. We have Resolution 154, appointing Taylor Bichetti
Yes, ma'am.
as a police officer. And we're very thankful that Toms River released you early, so you can get to work for us as soon as possible.
Me too.
Laura, I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
We're all going to second. Roll call, please.
Tafaro?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Falls?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Could you come forward, please? You've been ready for a couple of years.
Yes.
You just went to the wrong town. That's all I'm gonna say. Could you raise your right hand and introduce your own bylaw? You have someone that she's your son. Nice to you. Now, keep your head in. Just repeat after me. I, state your name,
I, Taylor Bichetti,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of police officer
of police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government established
and to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the
so
people.
help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right, good evening, Township Committee. So just want to again thank you for your continued support and being flexible so we can continue our hiring efforts to backfill, vacant positions. Also, I would be remiss not to thank again the Egg Harbor Township members of the Egg Harbor Township Police Department, including Captain Bergen, Captain Finnerty, Captain Slazarski, Lieutenant Keene, Sergeant Ware, and all the detectives, because as I mentioned before, there's a lot of moving parts to try to get someone in the door as a police officer here. So thank you. One thing I'll say about Tyler, he comes highly recommended from Toms River Police Department. I did have a conversation just happened to have a conversation with the chief of police there, and he is upset to lose him, and that's unfortunate for them, but good for us. So, so we welcome Tyler, and so Tyler is a SLEO 2 currently for those that don't know. So he will go right into our field training program starting this Monday. And I thought about this, maybe we'll just deploy him right out to the Bevis Mill area full time.
Out there.
And moved a few times too.
So, but the one thing again, so Taylor, you're coming to an agency, and again, I mean, it's Toms River's loss or gain, and I think hopefully you'll see that as you get in the door on Monday, and full of vinegar and. So the one thing, again, as I said before, in Egg Harbor Township, a lot of the new hires that are coming in, we look at them as change agents. We are trying to improve the culture here in Egg Harbor Township with the police department. And so you are a change agent, and we look for you to come in the door and make a difference immediately. And I'm just going to leave you with this. These are the things that we ask. Do the little things right, maintain a high quality of work, and always work to improve the law enforcement image, and you'll fit in very well here. So congratulations
Thank you, sir.
to you and your family, and good luck.
I just want to say, Tyler, your interview was great. Like the chief mentioned, it's our gain and Tom's River's loss. You've been at the job for a while. You're coming with us. Look, you know the job. We all, did I say Tyler? Taylor, I'm sorry. She correct. But the thing is,
Everywhere I go.
I mean, you've been on the job several years in Tom's River, so you know the job, and we expect the best. And this is a good police department. And I hope we don't put you on Bevis Mill, because that car out there looks kind of looks like a plant. It's been planted there a number of years. It doesn't really fool many people, but you'll do fine, and you know the job, and we're happy to get you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Taylor, we're glad that you're here. And you really impressed all of us with your interviews. And don't forget, Superman is on TV. Be yourself, protect and serve. All right.
Absolutely.
Your resume was outstanding, very impressive. Really want to thank you for choosing Acorn Township. Good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, sir.
Taylor, good luck to you. Be professional, be safe, and the best in your career.
Of course. Thank you.
Taylor, you know how we feel about this department. We're very proud of the men and women that work for us. They represent us in probably the worst day of some people's lives, and they do an outstanding job. We know you're going to do the same, and you're going to be on the street quicker than probably just about anybody we've put out for a while. So good luck to you, and we're glad to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, if you would like to leave, and anyone that's with you would like to leave, feel free, or you can stay for the whole meeting. That's on you.
Don't do that.
I'm giving you an out.
Don't do it.
Thank you. I know you're under pressure.
Good luck to you. Good luck. Okay. Ordinance number 6, Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 6 is an ordinance amending Ordinance 29 of 2009, adopting the redevelopment plan for the West Atlantic City redevelopment area. The purpose of this ordinance is to extend the duration and amend the permitted uses of the West Atlantic City redevelopment plan. Thank you.
Is there anybody in the public that would like to talk about ordinance number 6? Seeing none? You want to come down?
Well, not really, but
The-
where is ordinance 6? Is it explained in the paper? Yeah. Because we're all from West Atlantic City, which is flooded right now. And even the,
She has to
Why don't you come on up?
okay, that
Name and
doesn't
address
work,
for
by
the record.
way. It cuts in and out. You can barely hear you guys.
We are working on these.
Lisa Broomsmith of Genoa Avenue. Now, of course, my big mouth. So let's see, I'm gonna come there.
Actually, talk into the mic. I'll tell you why. It's more for the TV purpose. That's what's picking it up from that,
Okay,
hopefully.
better?
Yes.
I just think germs. But anyway, I did not read this.
Mr. Friedman, would you like to give her just,
Yeah, the redevelopment plan that's been in place since, I want to say 2008.
Maybe
it was before then,
It
2000.
actually has expired, and so the Township Committee decided it's time to renew the applicability of the West Atlantic City redevelopment plan.
And that is how we got the Gabion.
One thing
know
has
what?
nothing to do with the other. This has nothing to do with your flooding issues that I think most people.
What is
here
it? Just
talk
the
about.
elevation of,
No, this has to do with the redevelopment plan that was passed back in, again, 2008 or 2013.
which involves what, though, is my question, I
Which
guess.
involves on the side of the highway that the expressway is on, had been deemed an area in need of redevelopment.
Okay.
Since then, the township has acquired various properties there. remove some of the hotels with monies that were borrowed from the various agencies. And this extends that plan in place as a redevelopment area.
Oh, okay. See, I misunderstood. I thought it was the entire Black Horse Pike in West Atlantic City. And where we are, it rarely floods there. It gets right there. We flood, but the pike doesn't flood, but down there definitely does. And it's only the left side, the side closest to the...
The side closest would be the north side of the...
Correct. I mean, I
And
understand.
that's really just designating that area as a redevelopment area.
Do you have what street to what street kind of
I
limitation?
don't have it off the top of my head, but I believe it goes from the point that leaves Atlantic City. Right? There's a little creek there, and it extends there all the way to about the bend in the road, like somewhere right up around the...
By the
former Hess
Mitsubishi
station.
dealer and, oh, okay, where the Hess station is. Okay,
Give or take.
yeah.
I don't have the plan in front of me.
What had happened was from the old log cabin restaurant, all that land, we had gotten a grant from CRDA
CRDA,
initially, and then the FEMA came in years later with other monies. A lot of those properties were bought up with the grant money or the money from FEMA. They were demolished, they were removed. We had a redevelopment plan, and the old administrator, Mr. Millard, and they advertised all over the country. No developers wanted to come in. We even passed an ordinance to go 10 stories up, I think it was, right? Something to that effect, in case there were a hotel in there. It's not deep enough for a lot of people, that's the problem. It's long
Deep,
enough.
you mean from
Deep
here?
enough.
That
Well,
way?
from the
Not
road.
deep, but,
No, from the road wide.
got it.
It doesn't have any depth to it, but
Okay.
no developers across North America bid yet.
So we're still in limbo kind
So
of.
this is
But
just
we have to
updating the
we have
plan.
to read,
You have to revisit it every so often, reopen it
That's
or
it.
whatever.
because you never know.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not addressing why anything
No,
to do with the
that's
flooding now?
temporary. You're here for the flooding, right?
Yes.
Yeah, when we get, shortly we'll be there
Oh,
actually.
it's tonight though.
Well, public comment.
Public comment this is only public comment on this ordinance right now. And as we-
Gotcha.
On public comment, we're gonna talk about West
Thank you.
Atlantic City.
Thank you very much.
Can I have a motion, anybody else would like to speak about ordinance number 6? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved,
Second?
Roll call?
Cafaro.
for closing, yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Cromer.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 6?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Have a second?
Second?
Roll call?
Cafaro.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Cromer.
Yes. Ordinance number 7, Mr. Friedman.
Ordinance introduction number 7 is an ordinance to amend the code of the Township of Egg Harbor, Chapter 129-24, entitled Use of Streets and Public Parks, as well as Chapter 165, entitled Parks and Recreation Areas. The purpose of this ordinance is to specifically amend Chapter 129-24, Section B, by adding MK Betterment Park to the list of designated parks wherein licensed food trucks are permitted. Also, Chapter 165-3, hours is to amend all park hours to close 30 minutes after sunset. I'll be reviewing that ordinance to make sure that it excludes unless otherwise lighted.
Thank you.
Chapter 165-5, rules and regulations, by adding electric battery-powered vehicles, i.e. motorized bikes, electric bikes, to the list of vehicles prohibited within the parks and recreation areas. A public hearing on Ordinance 7 of 2024 will be held on April 10, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Thank you.
Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 7?
So moved.
Have a second, please?
Second.
Roll call?
Cafaro.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Cromer.
Yes. We're going to open it up to general public discussion. I'd actually like to do Bevis Mill first because the chief is here, and if they have any questions for the chief. So Bevis Mill, right? You want to come up?
Chief can give an overview too for the folks.
Well, that's what he's.
Thank you. My name is Ray Orbach. We are on Bevis Mill. Biggest thing is Chief could give us some information as to what happened. You know, everything was going along, and all of a sudden it all died. I've been in touch with the county. Sergeant Stearns got me a late email today, which gave me some update of what's going on. But I think generally people need to know what's happening. We have no idea as to what's going on.
Yep.
Okay? Thank you.
I think we've all been driving down there below 25 miles an hour, checking it out every day to see if the signage is up, because I know the signs were
Well, we
down.
put up 6 signs.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly where you live. So-
And
But no, I think they're effective. I
And
have to say
where,
those
where
signs are
I
effective.
live, we're in a weird spot because we're dead center. So people are coming down, they got the bumpy road up at Robert Best, they come down. As they're coming down, they see the opening and they nail it, they start going. Same thing on the other end, now that they know that the police car that's sitting there is a dummy car, they don't even bother to slow down anymore. So we get to see a fair amount, going back and forth. And I've got like 20-something things from the people in the town, from our area, showing specifics. I think you may have seen them. It's been, a pretty helpful thing to deal with right now. And I mean, as you can see, I got a little bit of an issue with walking. If I have a problem, I'm walking across the street to my son's house, and we're going a little slow, and these clowns are coming through like that. And it is narrow where we are. Our area is a little bit narrower than up the street.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
Chief, thank you. Thank you for the work on this, too.
You're welcome. Residents of the Bevis Mill and La Bella area, again, as I explained before, we can't be there 24/7. We're doing, and I know you had mentioned that there's been like a gap or a lax in communication. I don't know where that's perception's coming from, but I will tell you since the last meeting, we immediately had a conference call with the county. 3 of them, I have their names here. Anyway, they were from the research, planning, and development. But anyway, we had a conference call, Captain Finnerty, myself, Ed Stearns. We talked to them about the ideas that we discussed at the last meeting about all the possibilities that we could provide to that area. The one thing we did do immediately, if you saw, was we placed a decoy car out there. Don't like to really promote that because this is a public meeting and it kind of puts it out there that we have a decoy car out there, so that, kind of lost its edge now. But in any event, like Committeeman Hodson had said, it is out there, but for those that aren't familiar with the area, it's probably going to have a deterrent effect still, even though it's, we know it's a decoy. So we did that. We've had 8 enforcement efforts, whether they were direct patrols or traffic enforcement or property checks, resulted in 12 motor vehicle stops, 5 traffic summonses, and 2 for speeding. Again, that's in addition since the last Township Committee meeting. Today, I did happen to drive by there. I was a little bit, and I had shared this with the mayor, I was a little bit disappointed because it seemed like some of the signage just disappeared, some of the signs that we had seen out there previously. And signs were moved off the roadway at the intersection of Schoolhouse at Zion. They weren't in the middle of the...
Move them over. They moved out of the lane.
Well,
Somebody did that. I don't think the contractor did. Chief.
So, that was identified today because we know them being in the lane serves as a deterrent for the people that aren't local. So, I happened to have a conversation with Jeff from South State, who happened to be fixing signs that blew over on 559 at the time, and he was going to go out and address that. And he was in the process of putting additional signage up today. Is this going in and out?
Yeah.
So, and those additional signs are the result of us working with the county and them agreeing to put additional signs like we had discussed, signs at the intersection of Robert Best and Bevis Mill, signs at the intersection of Robert Best and Vella La Vella. Again, in the lane, to prevent people who maybe aren't familiar with the area from making that left turn or right turn, depending on which way you're coming, to reduce the traffic. We did post that. We do have the speed sign out there that shows what your speed is over top of what the actual speed limit is out there. I mean,
It wasn't working the last couple of days, but
It was working this morning.
Yesterday,
Okay.
I don't know, maybe it's got some issue, but Sergeant Stern said he can take care of it.
Okay. And then in addition, I did talk to the county because after our conference call, they assured that they would call us back earlier in the week, and they didn't. But we did call them this morning, and they approved a message board, a 4x8 message board to be deployed out there. We just have to determine the location and the message, which that's something we will work.
Where would that message board be placed?
Well, we have to determine the location, and
When you come off of 559 and you're coming in Stillmanville Road, you make a right-hand turn, you got the fork in the road there, right? You can either go up Robert Best or you can go over to Stillmanville. 559, make a right on Stillmanville, and one goes one way, one street goes the other way. There's one tiny little sign that says detour off to the right. I think that's where a good message board would be, right there to force the people up onto Stillmanville Road where they're supposed to be going.
well, again, after this meeting, we'll talk Sergeant Stearns, so by the end of the week, we can have a proper placement for that board. Okay, but as I said before, we're going to work We're going to work for more than one board out there.
Yeah.
So again, this doesn't happen overnight. We're trying our best to get resources to work with our network of vast resources that we have, and we're trying to accommodate the residents out there. The other thing I will say is they are making custom signs, and I failed to ask. I didn't understand what the custom signs that are being made, but they're pending deployment as well. And I'll have to find out what they mean by the custom signs. And then the other is they did approve and will provide the flexible delineators that we talked about.
Yeah.
But they did ask that the township install them. So, but that's, again, another option. We do know that there's some downside to those delineators. Sometimes they break and the base will still be in the roadway. But you know what I'll tell you? I think the benefit outweighs the risk. And then again, that's for you, and that's for your neighborhood, and that's for the citizens out there. So that's what I can tell you and report that we've been doing. And I know our officers, any chance they get when they're available and not on calls, with, again, that take up a lot of our time, like domestic violence, shoplifting, traffic crashes, weather events. But we've responded, and I've been here 25 years. We've blitzed your area because we're listening. So
It really, when you guys came out, it really did help to slow things down. And then, like you say, you've got other things you have to do, and it gets jammed up. And people are catching on to the signs and the dummy car and stuff like that. It's not fulfilling.
Well, again, it's not over yet. So we're going to the dummy. I don't want to call it a dummy car, but a decoy car. There's other creative ways that we have, and like I said, we have to get really the signage tweaked, everything out there to hopefully exist for the time period while your way of life has been interrupted. But I do think that the township is doing its best to make accommodations, and in addition to the police department. So I'd love to tell you that public service operates like private business. That doesn't necessarily happen. But I do think that we are, again, I have to give a lot of credit to Sergeant Stearns because he's been on top of it. So,
He's been great.
all right,
I've got one other thing. If you do speed bump type things,
you're out of things.
pardon?
I'm kidding.
The thing is the location of them. Where would you put them? And I can only say that where we're located, I'm dead in the center. I am the Bevis Mill property, correct? So I get to see the people from my kitchen, and they come down, they sweep around that edge, and boom, they take off. So the location, I think, would depend on where these cars are picking up their speed, slow them down. Because the upper end, facing Robert Best, between the manhole covers, the water that's there, they can't go fast. They're going to destroy their cars.
Here's what we'll do. Sergeant Stearns knows who you are.
Yeah.
We'll have him reach out to you when we come out to make those placements with your recommendations. I assume you're kind of the voice of the area. With all due respect, I mean, so I'll have Sergeant Stearns kind of consult with you to make sure we're placing things.
Come over in the morning, have coffee and watch.
All right. Sound good?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chief. And Ray, and to the residents on Bevis Mill, don't forget, I know you couldn't make the county meeting last night, but I would strongly recommend that you go to the county meeting. Because this is not our project, this is a county project.
I'm in communication with a woman with the county planning board, and she's keeping me up to date with what they're doing.
Is this Renee?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Renee and Doug out there. I also think your commissioners out there need to hear from you.
I asked her, and she said she didn't think it'd be worth it. Okay. I mean, I know everybody's got bigger fish to fry. I know that. We're just one part of a thing. But I asked her personally whether we should go or not. And I said, will we accomplish anything with the commissioners meeting? She says, not really. She says that everything goes through her planning board area first, then goes to the commissioners.
Well, I think we might disagree a little bit on that. I think everyone of us up here knows that the job of all of the elected officials is to hear the complaints and to see what they can do to help, if they can help. And they're the elected officials. So I really do think you need to talk to them. I really do.
Well, just because you could ask them if available with nice weather coming, not like the monsoon we have today, that they could speed up some work out there. That's 390-day contract. That's over a year. Okay, we're looking at it as a year, but I got it as 390 is longer than a year. So Laura's 100% right. That asking them, like, look, you're shutting this road down for almost over a year, and it's impacting our neighborhood. And when the weather gets nice and the daylight savings comes next week, if they can go full tilt and maybe speed it up, the county can ask the contractor. I'm sure of that.
Okay, thank you.
I would definitely do that. Definitely. All right, anybody else from Bevis Mill that would like to talk about Bevis Mill?
I'd like to thank the police because I'm taking kids to this bus stop, my grandkids and stuff, and I do see the police there quite a bit. It's pretty interesting, the black truck and the car, you almost can't tell, but I thank you folks. You've been great, really. Can't ask enough, but it's scary is what it is, especially taking the grandkids to a bus.
Okay.
But thank you folks for everything.
And we thank them too. They've done an outstanding job on this. Is there any, well, I know West Atlantic City's here. Bern, are you the spokesperson?
Well, if you like me to.
Sure, come on up.
There's other people that's going to be speaking also.
Oh, is Bevis Mill? No, if they want, we'll let them finish. Yeah, let them hear this one.
Well,
They can anyone that wants to come up and
yeah,
speak.
well, we have people here from West Atlantic City. As you know, last month when we were here and the questions that I had in reference to what are they doing. I got a call today from Department of Transportation, Mark Smith, who works for DOT. And at this point, we're looking for a liaison from West Atlantic, from Egg Harbor Township, our committee, and the state to have someone that's going to be in between the liaison to make sure the outfall pipes, no one never corresponded about the outfall pipes. That's number one. They haven't been cleaned. No one's been out there. All the drains are still stopped up. We're flooded right now. And nothing's been done since last month. So what I like to know is, have we talked to anybody from the state, talked to anybody from the township?
Bob Watkins, our engineer, is here to talk to you.
I know he wasn't here then last month. Bob wasn't here last
No, but
month.
he's the one that's handling this.
Well, if he's handling it, we want to get a report just to find out when are they going to clean the outfall pipes, and are they going to do it maybe hopefully on a monthly or 2 monthly basis because of the flooding. That's number one. Number two is the raising of the highway. As we all know, we are very, very concerned about them raising the highway in West Atlantic City for the water we already get. And you guys have gotten, I sent the letter back to the state about 10 different officials because they're not concerned about the quality of life that we live there. They're not concerned about how the kids can't get in and out of the school. The school buses can't even pick them up. People can't go to work because they can't get out of their houses. When they get out the house to come back, if the tide's up, they can't get in. So not just, West Atlantic City, say us on Venice Avenue or the Bay Club, we have Bayport, which is the newest development down there. Those people are suffering horribly. A lady the other day, she said she couldn't get out and get her emergency medicine. She was crying, absolutely crying, So something really has to be done about that part, and every individual here, and that's going to be coming, has a separate project, a separate problem with the flooding. And it's something that we have to address. It's been out there too long. I've been here 39 years, and I've been getting flooded for 39 years. And it's
Worse
just
now, though, isn't it?
now it's getting worse.
Yeah.
It's getting worse. The bay is rising. We understand that. But right now, there's nothing being done. The state cannot come out. We don't want them to come out to start doing any kind of construction until they absolutely have the engineers do a real study. I mean, the bay could be drudged again like they did before. I mean, there's a lot of different ideas that they can do. But we don't want them to come out to raise the highway to make it worse. The whole development, the whole area there, it's getting, it's really bad. So, but you have to live there to understand it. We just talking about it right now. So I'm just starting out as a spokesperson. Anybody that wants to talk about it, they're welcome. So,
Does anybody else from West Atlantic City want to talk about it? Come on, you have to come down and give your name and address for the record, please.
Oh, go for it.
Usually the one that says that's the best speaker, because it's from the heart, so.
No, not really. Concerning the flooding there.
Who get your name and address?
Oh. Charles W. Nelson III, 212 Florence Avenue, Egg Oak Township. I did speak to your engineer over here about this issue in front of my house where the ground caved in. My son's car got stuck in there, right? And that was last year.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, last year. Gas company came in, filled the hole then, but it's still there. Across the street, it's flooding from Bay Drive up into the cul-de-sac, going around the corner to Palermo. Is that Palermo?
Yeah.
Around the corner to Palermo, filling that guy's yard up with Genoa. And because that storm drain over there is supposed to come over to me and go out to that outflow pipe, which there's a busted pipe on the 6-8 inch pipe underground is broken, and it's that water that's trying to drain in there, it's unearthing everything in the middle of the street there. It's not coming over to me, going out. I took pictures several times. There's no the outflow pipes. It's below the outflow pipes. My drain's clear. One across the street is filled. Last time they came out, they jet blasted. The water was coming up in the middle of the street. So that tells me a pipe is broke, and they should know that. I mean, you could physically see it when they had the opening in there, and you looked in there, you seen the pipe crumbled inside. There was no dirt inside there, so it was gone. Beside that, I don't know if this is the time for it or whatever, but we talked about it a little bit last time. I know we had a grant several years ago about bringing and I talked to a couple people back then. They said they put markers out there. I think the height of the guardrail, they would bring that around, go to Pleasantville with that little wall. I think that would do a great idea so far, and that would do a great job because our elevation's higher there, and that is why we're getting so much water down on our end now. That's the east end, going towards Pleasantville.
This is the wall that Pleasantville didn't want to help be part of, right? We're talking about that wall.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But as you know, let's see, the west end basically got that high wall, right?
Yeah.
But they stopped right there on that corner there, but by that guardrail there. And they were supposed to, they said that they were gonna come around the height of that guardrail, because they said the elevation's high enough. We don't need no high one. Take that all the way down into Pleasantville, let Pleasantville supposedly had a grant, we're gonna pick up or whatever, and they would do theirs. Last I heard was, they didn't want it, the township couldn't do it or wouldn't do it because Pleasantville wouldn't pick up. My thing is, take it down to Pleasantville. Let that water go down there. Eventually they'll say, oh, we better put our end up down here. And second of all, they're higher down that end. They don't get the water we get at us, all the way down the other
But
end.
you know what, tonight is blowing up those.
Oh, well, that's their sewage. That's their sewage.
No, it's the water, it's the water, yes.
Oh.
Even our drain from our street,
Mhm.
you can tell it just comes up Palermo and Genoa and then it goes up our lawn.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ruins our vegetation.
Well, the thing of it is with that, and I'm not no engineer or nothing, but I see it, and that's how I love electronics. I have electronics around the house about telling me the tide, when the high tide is, how much high it's gonna be. And I see that flapper valve out there. That flapper valve is not closing. And that's probably why it's doing that, because I remember when they put them out there, they said they had to be maintained.
Yeah.
That water goes inside there when it's supposed to be closed. That pressure's supposed to open that to go out.
Pressure from the street.
That's correct.
And then
It opens.
It's a
And
valve.
then when it's low, it's supposed to be closed.
And
Well,
not-
I'm gonna have the engineer address this, because this first thing I think we have to make sure is that we do our part of the cleaning. Part of the cleaning, I think, comes from the state.
Well, I can address stuff.
Okay, why don't you,
You sure? Charles, are you done? You keep going. You got more stuff. Finish your talking so I can.
All right.
If you have other things to comment, go ahead. I want you to
I got a
finish.
lot to comment.
Well, I didn't know if you were.
speak good.
I didn't know if you were finished because I'm going to address a bunch of the
No, I mean,
concerns between what Vern said.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
you.
that is a major concern, the water flood
I
and stuff
understand.
like that. 'Cause we never used to get that water up in my driveway
Right.
into my garage.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Last and foremost, too, being they mentioned about there with the cars coming down the street, we get a blast down
Oh,
there
we do.
on that main bay drive, because a few years ago, we had the car come up over the curb into my front lawn, because they get that run from Pleasantville all the way down, because the right side had made, that's why they put the guardrail years ago, because they claimed they were coming down the other end, they were going right in the bay.
But nobody.
And that is that gets out of hand in summertime, and especially I don't know what they're gonna do about these
Motorcycles.
4-wheelers or whatever they are. They scream down the road, and somebody's gonna get hurt, and then somebody's gonna do something. I understand that's a big issue, even Philadelphia, California, everywhere.
well, we have the police officers, right, the chief is here, all the captains are here. They can address what they can do about the speeding that's going on Bay. I think the 25 mile an hour that was painted
That's
across
correct.
from
That's correct.
Mrs. Lombardi's house, you can't really see it that much anymore, it's pretty faded. So,
Well, all of them, they're actually leaning over,
yeah,
not leaning over. They're really not addressing anything over there. I mean,
And that's what we do as we live right on Bay, near Charlie. And I don't know whether we can call but they fly down no lights. They're gonna get killed. You know what I mean?
I think I brought the issue up one time about speed bumps, but that could be an issue with the county or state or something, depending on what road it is or whatever, how they dictate.
let's do the engineering issues right now.
Okay.
The speed issues is something that we will talk to the chief
Okay.
about. He's listening, he's hearing
That's
it all
fine.
right now, so.
That's fine.
So the first thing that Vern had stated was about the outfalls for the DOT and whether or not they were scheduled for cleaning and how much has been done. I know for a fact that those outfalls are failing, not that they're not clean, but they're falling apart.
Yeah.
So water's coming in the sides no matter what is happening. So they are aware of it. They were supposed to they did put a flapper valve with a big volt box at Seville, I believe, or Venice.
It's not on Venice. And it's not on Granada either.
Then I believe it was at Seville. That DOT has two of them, and one was Seville, and they didn't do Venice yet. And that's why they put one at Seville, because the concrete pipes were splitting or coming apart, and the water was just coming in. Their idea or their design for the roadway being raised is going to put in all new drainage, put in all new piping, put in new cradles and new valve boxes, just like they did at Seville, that are outside of the bay, and they can control it from not having any sand or buildup from the bay coming in and closing it.
But that's further down.
But they're wanting to start construction next year in 25.
I mean,
of
it's further
everything.
down the road.
Further in time?
No, further down the street. Seville and,
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about Venice. Venice is on their schedule. They're gonna replace that entire system.
It's gonna start at
Yeah.
Athens.
But again, we're working with them to try to get a public meeting,
Exactly.
okay? And when we schedule that, they're gonna come in here. You guys are all gonna be invited. If we have to go to the community center, then we might have to. But that was our first priority, is when we talked to them a month or so ago. We want a public comment meeting with all of you guys and residents to come over there. We brought up the concerns of, raising 2 foot high of the Black Horse Pike, and the water would start pushing to the north behind Milan Avenue as well. Now, I don't know if anybody's on that side of the road here, but they have a major problem over there. They don't have any relief from water when it rains there. Like today, I drove through there at 1:45. Not one side was flooded on your side of the pike because it was low tide. 100% it's low tide. All the water was going out. Okay, that's why I didn't see flooding anywhere right at that corner, because somehow it was going out. And I'm going to get to your point.
At the corner.
I will. So I went over to Milan, and the whole road over there is flooded. Almost a foot of water just from rain, and it wasn't even high tide.
So it's Venice.
So if we build the Black Horse Pike up another 2 feet, the water's going to just keep pushing up Milan Avenue. So that's another thing we discussed with the DOT. What are you going to do when it keeps flooding on that side? You need a pump station. The only thing that will help with rain and tide is you need a pump station. A lot of money.
excuse me, aren't we virtually on a peninsula? Because there's marsh and stuff back on the expressway side, the railroad track side.
Yeah, it's basically a berm that built from Pleasantville to Atlantic City. That's all that was, is to get
So there's
in
water
there. So once the bay comes up, it's going to flood somehow, and that's what they're trying to do, is keep that emergency access from the island out to the Egg Harbor Township or Pleasantville. So that's why they're raising it 2 feet, because that's where it floods all the time, and they close it down. I don't know how many times per year, but we probably have records of it. So that's why they're raising it. But it's going to cause other issues, and that's why we want them to come and say, hey, what are you going to do with Milan Avenue? What are you going to do on Venice and such? How's the grading affecting people's properties? They didn't give you a plan. They didn't tell you, why are we asking for easements out there?
Exactly.
Okay? So those we're working with them, we're trying to get it. And we haven't really been in touch with them till, I would say, in November. They reached out to us because we got the same letter. They need land from the township. When I say us, I'm saying that. The next thing, the bulkhead that you were saying from the curve all the way down to Lions
But
Court.
not just a brick wall, right?
New book.
Yeah, from the concrete wall,
Right.
we were proposing a bulkhead from that around the corner all the way down to Lions Court.
From where?
All right, that's where the Pleasantville border stops,
Correct.
the center line. Okay. We proposed that, designed it, was approved by DEP. The requirement to do that bulkhead, you have to remove all those docks.
That's fine.
Right, they started, and they said.
I'm just telling you.
"Here."
That's gonna be a big issue because a lot of people that rent those docks aren't owners
They're not only-
here.
They have to pay
I understand that.
Can I,
I understand that.
say something to that? When I got my house,
Mhm.
Judge, there was, many years ago, I had a dock, it was TJ,
Mhm.
basically. I never did anything with it because it gets beat so bad because of
Mhm.
wind. So far as them docks down there, as far as I know, there's only one person down there that doesn't want it, which that he doesn't own it. But the question was last time was, if you're only gonna build a 2-foot wall, what's your problem? Stepping over that wall.
It's not that. The docks have to be all removed.
Second of all, those docks are not theirs. That's the township, what you
Right.
brought from.
Well,
Right.
Charlie, they own the wood, is what we were told.
They own the docks, but not the waterfront.
That's right.
But
But
they came
again,
and started
that's
to
something
remove
that I just want everybody to know is that's why it stopped moving forward in that
Yeah, but
section.
what's more
Why did
important,
it stop?
I think it's more important to our homes than it is, he doesn't want it, he wants
Right.
it to stop.
And we've been watching the flooding in that area of how much it's gone over the roadway.
Right.
And it's occurring more in the last, well, I would say in the last 5 years, 6 years. But during the time, yeah, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, but now
Well, I
it's like the
think-
past 5 months.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Right.
It is.
We
Okay.
have to, we have
So we
to
can
own
revisit that.
side
We just, we need to
get
find
out of
money.
our house.
We need to find money for that. So that we're gonna have to apply for another grant.
I thought there was money.
No, the money was used for the gabions and the wall that was built from the curve down towards the
See,
towards the
that-
east.
That was a faulty issue, I think. Like I said, I'm not no engineer. But why would you build a wall all the way down the west end, all the way down, coming down Florence Avenue, stop there? Water
'Cause-
sinks
we
its
get
own
all-
level.
Because your elevations were
They
higher.
are high.
Correct.
But you know,
Your guys are
they're
higher on the east
That's
side by
correct.
about a foot and a
But
half.
if you notice, when we hit the water, it's only
And it's starting to push up.
more or
Right,
less across, because we got, when they did the road, they said they were gonna crown it, to more or less
Mhm.
put it over to that side. Yeah, they crowned it all right, they crowned it
To our
over the
property.
house.
Mhm.
And in 2007, there was a meeting and they described if you're sea level, below sea level, I'm on the corner, I'm higher, and now I'm really higher because we had to rebuild. But she lives next to me and she's below sea level. I don't think you were at that meeting because your mom was there. But anyway, it's just, we're like this. And our fear is that if that height goes any further, we're already in a fishbowl.
Right.
Whatever, so we're in, because the road is elevated. Some degree, Bay Road, Bay Drive.
And the last thing was the flappers. Public Works is aware of it. They are scheduling, as soon as they have their pump truck back, I believe that's what they're waiting for, because it gets shut down during the winter for cleaning purposes and such. That's their schedule, is to go out to all along West Atlantic City, Bay Drive, and go out to the, sorry about that. And go clean all those flapper valves that the township owns. And if there's ones that are not working and they're completely failed, then we need to purchase new ones. And, again, it's not the end.
So you say they're gonna jet it?
Yeah, they're gonna clean all of them out. That's their schedule.
How are they gonna jet the one?
It's already
coming over
dry.
the house?
No, that is something different. That is a construction project. And again, I would hope that Public Works can do that. So it takes it off the taxpayers and going out for a capital project. Because we already have some of our projects already listed for next year, for '24. So we have to look at the budget. But if we can get Public Works to do that work, it would save, it'd be a little bit quicker and can be done.
Right.
So,
And it's a safety issue as well.
We
I
understand.
mean,
Yep.
Like I said, my son's car, rear end went into the
Right.
ground.
Yep.
You know.
so I think I touched everything. I don't want to talk about the speeding. I know the police will discuss that and we can look into that, but,
We have some more speakers, I believe, that
Yes.
will talk.
okay.
They close.
Yeah. You want to-
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
anyone that wants to come down, that hasn't spoken yet, please come down and give your name and address.
I'm Lisa Broomsmith, 204 Genoa Avenue. I have Pleasantville because there's 2 Genoas in Egg Harbor Township, so. I wanted to address the removal of the docks began, and they stopped right in front of Palermo. The crappy pilings, the dock across from our house, which supposedly nobody owns, but the Long brothers say they own it, whatever, it's falling apart. These all the docks except for Rudisill, they're just, and they're dangerous. That and another thing, Army Corps of Engineers or someone before COVID was going around and they were reaming out and dredging. But they stopped right across from Palermo, right past Charlie's house. So we really, if you even try and bring a boat in there, the water, it's just so, So I don't know why that stopped. Who would know the answers to why the removal of the pilings and why the dredging stopped? Who would know those answers?
I don't know if Public Works went out there and removed anything.
Was that from Pleasantville that was doing that?
No, I believe it was. Oh, you know what? I don't know because they were in a boat and I didn't.
It could have been Pleasantville that did this.
Yeah,
Because the line is right there, so.
Yeah.
And actually, in some of these discussions, not tonight, but I think when we have the public meeting, I think people from Pleasantville need to be here too, because we don't want to flood them out either.
And Pleasantville got, somebody came and removed their boats, and you could see during low tide down where there is a bulkhead, and that's Pleasantville. You could see, and that got cleaned up. But our little area, because we're before the curve. I don't know if you know where Mr. Rudisill lives.
I was out there today with the fire chief. Went through every street. Wally
Wally.
knows everybody in every house out there.
Yes.
Everybody. I want to ask the solicitor something about the docks, and I think when it comes to removing them, we're probably going to have to do something, Mark, that you might have to handle.
Well, certainly the permitting of those docks had to come through the Tidelands, a state agency, so that would be the first stop that I would make is to see who actually has permits for allowable docks there to make sure that those docks have not only received permission to be there, but received permission to continue there.
Well,
Some of them, I believe, are in disrepair and have not been
Very
utilized.
Most of them.
Most of them are.
Those might very well be grounds for the rescinding of their permit as well. So, it's really starting to work from ground zero, moving in
And
that
just getting
direction.
started on it.
But it goes hand in hand with what Mr. Watkins had pointed out, that if we have a project that needs to be done, and this is a part of that project, or clear the area for it, then we'll work together making sure that happens.
Because we're talking pilings, we're not even talking docks. Okay, people
Yeah.
think they can pull up, park, and that's where we got the houseboat, smashed our house. It was illegally parked overnight, using it as a restroom, all kinds of stuff in the bay. But nobody was able to ever catch him. There's pilings that people can pull up to and just think that they can park there, which usually isn't a problem. But it's an eyesore and it needs to be addressed, and the dredging needs to. Because I can't help but think, and I'm no engineer, but if you dredge and it makes deeper surface for the water to sit, maybe it wouldn't wash over, and then we've got the bay hay and all that. So another thing, and Charlie touched on it, I believe, is the police, who are wonderful. But for instance, people think it's a parking area to sit and watch the beautiful bay, which, go for it. You gotta, there's signs there that say don't park or whatever. Sometimes their cars are shaking and you smell some weed or whatever. I don't know when to call the police, whether it's like, oh, they'll move, they're not really hurting anybody. But is it okay to just call when you see something weird? And
Yes.
somebody
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
All right.
It's absolutely, you call.
And they're like, with my camera.
Absolutely, you call.
Okay, good. I just want to reinforce
There's a
that.
fellow that lives in a camper a little bit down there sometimes during the year, I've seen.
things like that that aren't legal. The big
Yeah.
summer parties that you have at and not that you all have,
Oh, no.
but people come in, and I know around the bend there, down.
Down, yeah.
Not the windsurfers, it's just families, it's a lot of families that
Yeah,
goes
they
in
come
there.
down that corner.
And I know the
On the beach.
windsurfers, yeah, and there's a lot that goes on in that corner. Call, because,
Yeah, where there's no bulkhead or anything, it's just sand.
yeah.
Sand and
But
pilings.
before we get to the police, let's deal with all the engineering issues or things that maybe Mr. Watkins can handle or talk to you about. And then, while the police are still here and they're waiting for you, so.
No, I meant as the need of.
Oh, no,
emergency.
there's, yeah. You are gonna, and call. Call,
Okay, thank you.
call.
Hi,
Hi.
my name's Elizabeth, and this is Rob. We live on Naples Ave. You already addressed a lot of the flooding issues that we're having, but I did bring pictures to show everybody how bad it is. So if you guys want to.
Wait, let me also give him my
We
phone.
have so
Why
many
don't you
more
start this
pictures.
one, we can just pass them in.
I just can only print so many.
No, please.
One of the vehicles that got flooded on East Plaza, that insurance gave me $60 for when it flooded. I lost 5,000 on.
Yeah.
So I lost 2 cars in floods already. To quickly point out the flooding today, we just had a little bit of flooding on Naples. We had it down Bay Drive. It's not from any of the tide because the tide was low around 11. But that being said, the rain was enough to, I can also pull it up on the phone. There was about like 4 feet out from the curb of water just bubbling through the street right by my curb. And
And this is on Naples.
yeah, and then also manhole covers bubble from like the end of the street towards the pike.
Like they're floating.
On some of the pictures you'll see Seville is underwater, but the manhole cover was actually like bubbling, like big plumes of like water. So that's an issue. As far as the docks, I know Rudisville is going to probably have a fit, and my dad also took over a dock when he moved into Toulon Ave, so that dock he would share with John, Morel, Tony, who passed away just recently, and Bill Warren. So we shared a dock, but we also know that it wasn't like ours to begin with. We took it over and fixed it up. But I'm pretty sure my family would be more than lenient to be like, hey, look, if we need to do what's right for this city, take it, you know? Obviously he's gonna be pissed because you just spent all that time fixing it, but we also know it's like borrowed time. So we're okay with that. So I just have to get my dad here. That's a whole separate
He was
problem.
here last month.
Yeah, during that last thing. But like I said, that should be fine. Just the only problem you have is really Tony Rudisville because he goes out every morning with his kids and they go fishing with the grandkids and they like to
And
take
he
the
takes
rowboat.
care of his dog.
Yeah, him and my dad just.
And your dad,
yeah.
his parents.
All the other ones
Yes.
are just completely in disarray. They're like falling
Yeah, from
apart.
that point on, it's not like you're in the city, it's not.
So we understand that.
My only thing, or I guess comment, is about with the DOT raising the pike. I know you guys are saying, oh, we have plans in place, but I just want to make sure that they're actually going to take place, because I can say I'm going to run a marathon, but never actually do it. So I just want to make sure it's actually going to get addressed and
Well, I
taken
know
care
this,
of.
when it comes to the state, that there is going to be a public meeting, that everyone here we'll make sure we notice everybody in West Atlantic City.
How do
That
we
every-
know? How do we find out? Because we find out the night before.
No, you'll know long before. I'm not sure how we'll let them know, but we'll either mail to you, we'll do a phone call or something like that, so that you will know.
We'll email Vern
And Charlie. Yeah, she'll come.
Right, but it's also like a lot of people don't know Vern, so like they're older,
Yeah.
people, or they might not know like the community. So
There will
New
be,
owners
we
too.
will do
a lot of new owners.
We'll do some social media,
Yeah.
we'll do a mailing, or a
Yes.
phone call, whatever database we have. So this way you all know to come out. Because you all have different questions,
Yeah.
Right.
and where you live, because it's not all the same level out there. Where I know where Vern lives is really bad.
It is. It is.
And other areas aren't bad at all. I mean, they get bad at super high tides, but
Yeah.
it really truly depends. Like right now when you go home, it's going to be flooded because it's high tide it's right around now, right?
502.
In the ocean, so now it's 6:02 in the bay. So so it's high tide right now.
Right.
So do you want us to keep you here for another 2 hours so you can?
We have contingency plans.
Which, where was the manhole that you were saying?
The one I actually, in one of the pictures I believe it is, you'll see Seville. It was on the end of the street of Seville, right up towards, it's a one-way. so
Oh, it's
right towards
Seville, not Naples.
There's
No,
two.
it's- Yeah, there's multiple manholes throughout the streets, but the day I took these photos was in Seville and I was walking through it up to my knees.
Okay, Seville was the one.
And there's also two on Bay Drive
Yeah, like
that
towards,
happened today.
Bay Drive.
yes, and also, yeah, by Hampton Street in Pleasantville side, the one manhole cover was also coming up
Can't
too.
do that.
I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
you to
So
forget.
Seville is.
Yeah, I want to show you, this is just from the storm drain. This was a flash flood that came up through the sewer grates and it came within 10 minutes of my car.
Just that quick.
And that's at Seville?
No,
That was
this
at
is
Plaza.
East Plaza. place.
East Plaza Place.
That was up at my grandpa's.
Yeah, it's happening all the way across the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naples right now, forget it, like, we have to be really careful with that street.
Yeah,
I have a video of Bay Drive.
yeah. We have tons of videos and
It
stuff.
happens really fast, and like, the one day, me and my dad literally moved all the trucks and trailers and all the stuff up the street, and one car already got taken, it was a Jeep Commander, and it happened within an hour. Like, it comes really fast, and that car can stop. And like I said, $60 for a car from insurance is kind of like low.
Okay. Let us do this. The engineer,
Yeah.
wait, let me look at this.
That's right.
Is there anybody else from West Atlantic City that would like to speak?
Dead center.
Yes.
I can right on Bay Drive.
Dead center.
We used to get a call.
That water's about 3 minutes.
What happened to that system? If the tide was going to be super, super high, we were all notified.
Do you know who you got the call from?
That was years ago. Oh, okay. Is there any?
Look into that. I honestly don't know who called you.
That's.
I don't remember,
Yeah.
but we used to be warned, in other words, when we were going to get a real high tide.
It was probably when you all had landlines
So
as
this
opposed to
was
cell
put in by
phones.
That was put in. by-
Probably. Yeah, because you're right. Our phones were linked into it.
Yeah,
You're right.
they were
did
linked.
one Seville.
So,
That's all I have to say.
ma'am,
And there's one in Seville.
right, looking at you.
Okay.
And
Gail
this-
Manning
this was the
Minlin
manhole
from,
you're talking about, right? That's-
15
That's it.
Empire Drive. I'm a officer of the Bay Club, HOA. There are other officers here tonight also. The board has met with the engineers for this project, for the Black Horse Pike project. We've met with the engineers. The plans that they have are so outdated that, we don't even know where to start. We've rejected 2 offers so far for our land. They want us a very small piece. It's not like they're going to take a lot, so we're not talking a lot of money. But nevertheless, we've met with the realtors. They've come. It seems like it's a constant flow. Today we received an email from the Environmental Protection who says that they're on top of it. That's great. But it is very confusing to us. Who owns what, right? We talk about something and they say, oh, no, the township owns that. We talk about something else and it's the county owns that or the state owns that. It's very confusing to us as to who owns what. And that is true for some of the outflows, apparently. Some of the outflows are owned by different entities. The outflow on Venice that you were talking about is underground. It is under the sand. So how can you not even know, or whoever owns it, it's underground. It just surfaced a couple of inches because we've been having super low tides. And so suddenly there's this outflow that's underground that must be totally filled with sand. Yeah. So again, we want a time frame. We don't know. We've been told that this project is scheduled to start this spring of 2024 was what one of the engineers from the state told us. So can we have some kind of time frame that this public meeting is going to be? And who's going to push for it?
We've been sending emails.
We're asking for one this spring, if
Yeah.
not sooner. We've been asking. So that's all we can do.
And we requested the realtor as well to set up the meeting because they're asking for land by the township as well.
They were very responsive, the realtors.
Because
That-
they want to make the deal.
Yeah.
That's why.
Exactly.
That's the only reason.
Right, right.
Yeah, so,
The township hasn't signed anything yet.
Yeah.
with the real estate. We haven't signed off on anything.
No, none of us are signing off on anything. Okay, so we just wait. It's in your hands.
As soon as we get notice of the meeting, we're gonna make sure everybody's aware of it.
Yep.
And
We
you
can
folks.
reach out to Senator Palestina,
Okay,
to his office,
Assembly, you have two assembly
and we have two
people
assembly people.
that work for the state.
Yes, you did.
I did already.
I figured you did. Did you talk to Vince or did you
I
talk to?
talked to Vince, he put it on Joe Bird. Joe Bird called, one of the state officials, and I sent Joe Bird the rule, because they're talking about, what they're really concerned about is us signing off on the
On your
easement of our
easements.
properties that they want to take. But they're not concerned about us signing off on us getting more flooding water. So I explained it to Joe Bird. I talked to, Senator, again about it a week and a half ago, and he said that he was going to come out and also talk with the engineers to find what he could do to be part of that, because he's an engineer also.
Yes.
So it's now, we got all these people, so we just need them all to get together.
In the same room.
So that they can do, they
With
can
you
actually
guys.
get something going, because it's just, people keep saying it, it's not, nothing happening. Even at, over there, Bay Club, they can't get in and out, I mean, it's just.
No, like, we
So,
go home tonight.
Yeah.
I know this, we have to deal with the state and to get the state here, and I know Mr. Watkins has been dealing with them regularly. I think we're gonna go on the other side too, like we will follow up with Senator Palestina.
Okay.
So we can get an information session as soon as we possibly can. And Bob, you'll let us know as soon as,
Yeah, well, as soon as we know, we're gonna have it blasted on the social media and notice for you guys, and we'll put it out there.
multiple ways of notification.
You have one, Tim.
And
Real quick, just to answer that storm, or it's a sanitary manhole. That's what was bubbling, not storm. Just so you know, that is a sanitary manhole that is up along Bay Drive across from the bay that was bubbling.
But the wall hasn't done anything to stop anything, sir.
No, the wall's not gonna stop bubbling from the sanitary manhole that is filling up.
41 years of this. I think I've lived there as the longest person.
Do you wanna come up to Yeah.
It's all family members, they all come to see the Bay Drive. But she said, what did the walls do? You still got water out here. Hurricane Gloria, Hurricane Sandy has hit. Everything. I could time it exactly when to get out of that house to get to work. The only thing I can say is I was never late in 40 years. I got to work because I knew when to get out of that house if I'm going to get to work on time.
Ma'am, can we get your name?
I've been no call, no show for 40 years. Finally retired. Still, nothing has changed. That wall didn't do nothing. Nope. Literally.
Well, let's do this.
Like you
There's
said, you
nothing
gotta
tonight.
live there to know.
We will be in touch as soon as we possibly
I
can.
was in the hospital for 1 week, and I told my sister, do not put
Bay
that
Club
car on
member.
Bay
Bay Club.
Drive.
Okay, thank you.
Because it's not gonna be a car. You get to the hospital and get me out of here. I said, I'm worried because she's gonna get up here to get me. Because they sure ain't gonna release you. But I'm just saying, 41 years of this. You pay tax dollars. What does it do for you? The wall did nothing. It isn't any better. I'd like to know when they bring it down the rest of those hotels. It's an eyesore. The tax dollars that we put out. That's all I can say. I ain't seen anything. In 41 years, family members come, I get worried about their car. I said, well, first thing they pull in the driveway, where's your car at? The kids don't know. I said, you need to get back home, so get this car in my driveway, not out there. But we don't know when the water, I can kind of predict, but sometimes life gets hectic and you don't know. I'm sitting in the hospital. The doctor said, don't worry about what's going on in West Atlantic City. You gotta get better. I'm just tired right now, so I have a lot more to say. People say you're vocal about the speech of what really goes on with our tax dollars. I don't see it. 41 years of this, ain't nothing has changed. I like it there though. If the girlfriend could have her way, I'd be in Galloway. But I like West Atlantic City. I feel safe there at least. I like my environment. You can almost know who lives here and who doesn't live there. Most towns you don't know. It's too far stretched out. So I do feel my element of safety there. I do feel that at least. But you sure haven't done too much with the tax dollars. That's all I can say, sir.
All right, in regard to the engineering, we'll be in touch on that. In regard to the police and the speeding, Chief, could you just step up for a moment?
You finished yet? You finished?
I have a police issue.
Police issue.
Who doesn't have a police issue? Just, I've heard the residents of that area, their complaints regarding suspicious persons, suspicious vehicles, speeding, things like that. As far as the suspicious behavior, again, it's to see something, say something, call us. If it's not an emergency, call the non-emergency number, 927-5200. But as far as the speeding, Captain Finnerty, who's in charge of patrol, is in the back. We're well aware of your complaint today, and we do have a unit. That's the way our townships, our zones are spread out. We have an area car, and when that area car is not tied up, that's something over the next few days, if not weeks, we'll address, and we'll start doing some enforcement efforts out there to deter speeding and catch speeding. But as far as any suspicious activity, if you see it, call us.
Oh, I
They're very good, yeah.
I am neighborhood watch.
And I'm back up.
That's me. I love that neighborhood. And like this lady said, she feels safe.
So,
Those hotels, I know who belongs around my neighborhood, I know who doesn't.
So on Naples Ave, we have that church right across the street from us, and there's always cars parked over there across the street, and owners just leaving there. Are we supposed to call the police and every single time someone's just leaving their car there? Because it's suspicious, but I don't know whose car it is or why it's there.
They swap them out.
Yeah.
They swap them out. There's a different car there. Some nights. Same truck, same.
Well, is it? Are they parked in a legal area?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, it's across the street, there's not a.
My advice to you would be this: if you feel there's something not right going on, there again, you said they're parking cars, they're swapping cars, things like that. You should still call us, because then what our officers will do, they'll take the information, they'll capture tags, and then through that, we will be able to determine whether or not they're up to some type of nefarious activity. No, I mean, again, you live there, if that's out of your comfort zone, again, that's that sixth sense, something's telling you that's not right, call us.
Right, like I've gone up to the driver sometimes when he sat there and they just drive off, and we're like, why are you sitting there?
Take a picture of their tag.
In the future, yeah, grab their tag, just call us.
Okay, and then the other police issue, that traffic light that's off of Athens Ave and Black Horse Pike, every time we, right by the car.
Gas station.
The gas station.
Yes.
So every time we go to sit there and the light turns green, there's tons of cars running the red light, and we almost get blasted every single
There should be a
time.
camera there. You made a lot of money.
Yeah, speeding camp.
So.
It's peaking.
They are running.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a state.
It's a state light.
State
They can make
traffic
some money.
And I don't think
Hit almost every single morning.
Yeah, we go to the
trying
gym
go
at
to
6 in the
gym.
morning.
traffic cameras in New Jersey, I don't think are permitted.
Oh.
I'm not. Where's Cat Burger? She would know that. Traffic cameras aren't permitted in the state of New Jersey just yet.
No, traffic cameras are not permitted in the state of New Jersey. They actually made them take out the red light cameras a
No
while back.
kidding.
It was illegal in New Jersey. Some other states have them, but we are not allowed to have them.
So-
It's a civil fine only for the states that do have them, I believe, like down in Maryland and those kind of states. But I think some of you would actually be very upset if it did install something like that anyway, just because, even if you're a couple miles over the speed limit, it doesn't, there's no distraction there.
No, it's only a light, so they run through the light.
It's the running of that light.
They're running the light.
The light turns green for me when I'm sitting there. I count to 10 because there's
Everybody.
Which light is that? Is that on the state, on the? So that, yeah, so that's actually, it's a state road. I know that does fall within our towns, but if there is a problem, there could be a problem with the light, timing going as well. that could be something that you could address with maybe.
If it looks red or not, they would do
I
it.
think the main thing is also the sun, when it rises and sets, it's right there.
We can't do anything about the sun.
All kidding aside, if there is, I don't know if they have the black, so for this, if there's sun glare there, if that's what you're saying, I'm assuming you're not asking us to move the sun. But if there is sun glare at the traffic signal, they do have black, there's like a black backdrop that could potentially be added to the light if it's not there. That would be something that would have to be requested through the state DOT, because it is a state highway. So
there's nothing you guys can.
no, we can't do that. That would be something that would have to be requested to the state DOT if that is missing. That
There's
is
an AC officer who blew that, was off duty, chased him down.
who makes the
Yeah,
request.
it's like the township.
That's actually a good
Blew it at
question.
100 miles an hour, chased
I mean,
him down.
either could make that request if that is
And he waves
missing.
his bag, says,
That
"You
could
can't
be a
do about
request.
it." I was like, I'm not gonna report you.
I don't know if you're the only one who's doing that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we actually have I know the chief has another function that he wants to do here at the meeting tonight. So, is there any other questions on West Atlantic City?
One more thing, what is the projected time frame of raising that Blackwood fight?
That's what they're gonna let us know. 2025 was when it was supposed to start. So another year.
2025.
2025, but once we have that public meeting,
25.
that's what they're saying. But we'll see.
What about the hotels? Are they, rest of them ever coming down?
I hope so. They're all privately owned.
I
So-
kind of like years of, in the casino, I really can't hear the way I used to.
They're all privately owned. So as of right now, we don't have any more money to purchase
Right.
the ones that are left.
Come down, it is an eyesore. It draws vagrants, it draws a lot of things in that area. I remember way back that a couple of homes that were broken in the neighbor's house. And I said, well, my husband had gates put on, but they do draw and they come around and then you realize that they don't live here. But it does bring vagrants. We hope we can see them come down one day.
We are working the best we can. Most of them are gone now. There's 4 left out there.
Yeah.
So if we can get some more grant money, which is how we got a FEMA grant and a CRDA grant.
Bring up the property.
So there were 2 separate grants.
Yeah, I know, I got this, I worked on the committee 29 years, 30 years ago.
With the CRDA.
The CRDA appropriated that money to tear down those hotels. And I
First
think
thing.
it took them 25 years, right?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's not, none of that happens in a
Quickly,
day.
no. But is there anybody else for West Atlantic City? Because we really have to move on.
Thank you. 2 quick questions.
Welcome.
Granada Avenue. The other side is a vacant lot, overgrown vacant lot. So there's stuff that happens on the other side of that. Cars are parked, there's a stand area, there's stuff over there. But on my side, by the Bay Club, there are cars that park and they just sit there with their engines running. And it increases as we get towards summer. It's increasing. So there's clearly stuff going on that shouldn't be going on. Can we have an increased police presence? Or just driving through, let them know you're there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go. I was just going to summarize for residents of the West Atlantic City area. So your concerns as far as traffic and quality of life issues, like I said, call us. See something, call us. It's out of the ordinary to you, you should call us. Suspicious vehicles and activity like that, but again, we know where that's probably coming from. It might be coming from the city, late hours type of things. But that's call us. But the one thing we will do, we can put a property check in our complaint, our CAD. So again, or a Bravo shift, which is a night shift, will come out there and be more proactive rather than being called. They'll know to go check those areas for suspicious activity, vagrancy, things like that. I have to ask,
Yeah.
are you and the Douglas Mill communities in Columbus.
No, after tonight, we probably will. One more question. Just
Yes.
one more question. There's a lot of graffiti that's happening at Athens, the crossover there. And it's gotta be middle school kids because that's what it looks like. But there's some really obscene graffiti right now. I don't know who to call. Who do I call?
You're telling us the administrator is writing it down and we can talk to Public Works.
Okay, we call Public Works, they don't call us back, just so you know.
Call our office.
Which office?
His office.
Yours?
Call our office. Mine, yes.
Okay.
Call my office, yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Chief, while you're up here, we have some people, I guess, we have some employees here tonight
We do.
that I think you would like to say some things about.
I would, if
Yes,
Yes.
please, come on down.
well, no, West Atlantic City, hang out. You're going to see something very special.
These are some of the people you will call if you have an issue, so it's good.
So, this is kind of what I talked about. Historically, maybe our police communicators, the telecommunicators, the people that when you call the police, these are the first line of communication that you have. We're trying to recognize them, in a more professional setting such as this, to ensure that they understand how important they are to our community and to our department. So most recently, we had a selection process for dispatch supervisor, two positions which you had addressed earlier. And so I want to bring Crystal Torres Colon and Christine McAvady if they could come up. So this is Crystal and Christine. We're after a pretty challenging selection process, chaired by Captain Slazarski in the back and Matt Cochran. There are 8 people that interviewed for the process, and as you can imagine, when you have a police communication center with about 20 people and you can only choose 2 for supervisors, people are going to be disappointed. But everyone that interviewed, from what I understand, it was a very competitive process, and the ones that were chosen are Crystal and Christine. Crystal, I didn't promote you yet. Not that
I told her congratulations.
All right. Crystal has 18 and a half years of service with our agency. Christine has 20 and a half years. So combined, that's 39 years of service and experience. That's a lot to offer our communication center and impart that knowledge and experience to others. They've taken on, again, because they chose to be supervisors in a very high stress environment. They take on, that they've accepted more responsibility, and that's a big thing. And not only for them individually, and I will stress this, but for others. You've accepted the responsibility of others' performance and others' work, and so that is a very big task to take on. And I think, again, it goes back to your experience and your time. I think you guys are going to do great. I think one of the things I've said before, in that environment, it can be stagnant at times, and it's needs a spark. And my challenge to them both is be that spark and make that environment better for everyone. And the one thing I do want to recognize, a lot of, again, trying to ensure that our dispatchers know that they are a priority to the police department, priority to the community. So I think it's great. A lot of their peers showed up here tonight to basically recognize them. A long-standing retired Sergeant Joe Bonzel showed up for this. Lieutenant Mark mentioned Jennifer Williford unfortunately had to leave. They had other obligations, but again, I just think the people we're slowly changing the culture here in Egg Harbor Township. And these are the little things that we need to do better at. And that's why I wanted to bring both Crystal and Christine up to recognize them being promoted to dispatch supervisor or communications supervisor. And we're looking forward to very good things from them and to improve that communication center and the people around them. So again, my congratulations to them, and I wanted to recognize them. So.
Thanks. Congratulations. Do you ladies want to say a speech? No.
911.
And I know this, Chief, I would have put you on first. I'd have put them on first.
I have one more thing.
Yes.
Well, to the dispatchers, are there more?
Oh, no.
To the dispatchers, unfortunately, I listen to the radio, and I know what you go through. I know when the firemen are dispatched and they're calling and you're not answering, you're answering somebody else. So for one of us here, I understand what you do. I did it many years ago when it was very primitive to be a dispatcher with a typewriter to type down all the calls. But the thing was, I appreciate everything you do, and you're the lifeline for these cops, firemen, and EMTs. I know it, and I respect your job and keep up the good work.
To the dispatchers, please forgive him, because they had the little birds that they used to put the note on it and throw up. Back in his communication days, it was the bird.
Right,
but Chief, thanks a lot. Chief, thanks a lot for acknowledging them. A lot of the workers who work hard. It's not in the budget to give them the raise. It's not in the budget to give them comp time or vacation time. But a simple thank you and recognition on the great job means more to people than that. And communication. When I was a police officer, I used to always make sure they had lunch in Atlantic City because they would never give me the call. They'd let me take a nap. No.
Chief,
but
you got
keep
one
up the good work. Keep up the good work.
You got one more, Chief.
All right, so in addition, we're again trying to change the way we do things because again, the police and fire seem to get a lot of recognition when they, either hire, promote, things like that. Our dispatchers should be right there with us. So I want to bring up Chris Dragovitz. Chris recently, it's like The Price is Right. He comes on marching down. So Chris started with us about a month or two ago as a part-time telecommunicator, and most recently had put in to go full-time. And again, Chris, from what I hear, started out running and is doing a fantastic job as a telecommunicator. And so I wanted to recognize him for moving from part-time to full-time. And so congratulations, and we wish Chris the best of luck. He's got some tough supervisors to deal with. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for the time, for allowing us to come up and have a voice. Much appreciated.
To Crystal and Christine, I know Tom has been instrumental, this entire board has been instrumental, but it started with Donna, and she had put down this whole map for us, this road map. And I'm glad it's finally coming to some kind of fruition that this is happening. So congratulations to both of you. It's been a work in progress for quite some time now, about 18 months. Yeah. And kudos to our previous administrator, Donna, for setting this thing up initially. But congratulations.
And you all do an outstanding job. Outstanding. They do a great job. Thank you all. Thank you. All right. Moving right along. Is there anybody else that would like to talk about anything else except West Atlantic City, Bevis Mill, and dispatchers? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion, please? Can I have a second? Have a second? Ray seconded? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have a resolution and consent. If you want to go, you can go. We have a resolution and consent calendar, Resolution 155 through and including 166, and 164 is as amended for the insurance premium rebate of $200,000.
220 total.
220 total. Can I have a motion on resolutions 155 through 166?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a, thank you. Roll call, please.
Cafaro.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Yes.
Laura.
I'm gonna, yes.
Want to thank the
Guys, we're still in session. Come on out, please. We're still in session. Thank you.
Thanks, Captain.
I have more pictures.
Okay. We have resolution 167, the bill list, authorizing payment of all bills according to the attachments. Could I have a motion to approve, please?
I'll make some motion. I'll second.
Roll call?
Cafaro.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Bremer.
Yes. Township committee reports. Mr. Pauls.
Have nothing.
Mr. Ellis.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Hudson.
No, nothing. Only congratulations to dispatchers. Like I said, I mean, I hear how hard they work when there's an emergency. You know how I feel about police, fire, and rescue. And to the West Atlantic City, we gotta be diligent as a committee and support these people because what's going on over there is long overdue. And we gotta support them and making sure they're not harmed by what the state thinks they can do and do right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Cafaro.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, as far as West Atlantic City, the mayor and I spent about 3 hours out there today with the fire chief, touring the whole thing and getting down. We've had meetings. We had a virtual meeting.
Yes.
With DOT. So there are things that we are moving forward with, and we have to stay on top of it. You've done a great job, Bob. You know, you're really on top of everything. Stay on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in the end, it'll all work out. Somehow, some way, it'll all work out. And I know Wally had said he had talked about some of these issues in the past. They were never addressed, but we certainly, I know Laura and I certainly heard it.
We sure did. I would just like to thank the police department for being so vigilant. We had 2 big groups here tonight that have issues, but there's issues in every neighborhood. And I have to give, you know, a shout out to our police department for being very responsive to all the issues that go on here. So thank you. Thank you all. And we've got some approvals. Tom, actually, before we go, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, Mayor, I'm good.
And Mr. Friedman?
No.
Mr. Watkins, is there anything else you'd like to sum this up with, or?
No, I
Okay.
spoke enough.
We're good. All right, we've got some approvals. Can I have a motion to approve the February 21st Township Committee meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the February 28th, 2024 Special Township Committee meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the February 28th, 2024 Special Township Committee closed session meeting minutes pursuant to Resolution 152.
Make a motion.
I'll second it, Mayor.
Roll call?
Cafaro.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yep.
Pauls.
Yes.
Bremer.
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the payroll for the month of February 2024 in the amount of $1,513,897.55?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody else?
Anybody else in favor?
Closed session, Mr. D&T, do we have closed?
Yes, ma'am, we do. Resolution 168 authorizes Township Committee to convene in closed executive session to discuss matters which may involve personnel and/or legal matters. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss matters involving personnel and/or legal matters as follows. Personnel, EMS union recognition update, anticipated disclosure 6 months. The deputy administrator position, anticipated disclosure 6 months. Legal, the J.R. Noble Oprah request update, anticipated disclosure 1 year. And then Anchorage Point Lagoon, anticipated disclosure 1 year.
What was that last one, Tom? I'm sorry.
Anchorage Point Lagoon.
Right, wonderful.
Yes. No worries. Whereas the minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes may be made public. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey that the public be excluded from this meeting.
Okay. Do you think we will take any action after closed session?
No, ma'am.